Well, a very big welcome to you all. Welcome back to the Coaching Cafe after our 2-week break. My name's Natalie Ashdown. I'm joined on the line by our resident HR specialist, Paula Jones-Hunt. And today we're concluding our little series that we've run over the past few weeks around AI in coaching. And we're going to ask and answer the question, will AI replace us as coaches? Insert bom, 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 dramatic music. Let's get into the conversation together. Before we do that, let me do our acknowledgement of country and acknowledge the traditional owners, the custodians on the lands on which we meet today, and their continuing connection to the land, the waters, the communities of Australia, and the lands from where you're joining us from around the world, whether you're listening to this via your favourite streaming service, or you're listening to this live, wherever you might be joining us. We pay our respects to them, their elders past, present and emerging, and elders from Indigenous communities from around the world. And we are welcoming people from around the world, from people all around Australia, Brisbane, Canberra, Adelaide. But we want to say hi to our coaches dialing in from Canada, Singapore, Wellington, many other places as well. So we've just been enjoying finding out where people are joining us from all around the world. Very exciting. Well, as I mentioned, welcome back. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the use of AI in coaching. In particular, how do we use AI as coaches and how do we use it to make our coaching better? That was the question that I was really interested in, and we've been talking about that. So we'll pick up that question again today to summarize where we're at and answer the question, will AI replace us as coaches? Before we begin, for those that are new to the Coaching Cafe, welcome. We are all about creating a community, having shared learning experiences and thought-provoking conversations. And if you are a regular, welcome back. You know, we love joining you at this time every Friday and having these great conversations. If you want to interact with us, feel free to pop a message into the chat box and we will pick up your commentary, your questions, your expertise as we go along. And if you are here because you are also collecting ICF CCEs, your continuing coach education, fantastic. Just hold on the line until the end of the session and we will make that available to you. There you go. Let's get into our conversation. So we've been talking about the use of AI in coaching. And Paula, it was you that actually said this little line to say we're explorers. And I love that from a coaching point of view. We're exploring the use of AI in coaching. And what that means is we are not suggesting for 1 second here at Open Door Coaching that we are the experts, but we are researchers, we're explorers, and we've been enjoying this journey of exploring the use of AI. In particular, I want to point you to the website there that I have on the slide deck. It's the ICF Coach Federation, so the International Coaching Federation. So coachfederation.org. Go to coachfederation.org about and type in coalition technology in coaching, or just type into your Google searches Coach Federation use of AI in coaching. What I'm quite excited about is our international coaching body is on top of this, is on top of the use of AI in coaching. In fact, they are setting up standards for the use of AI in coaching. And there's a lot of research and there's a couple of excellent webinars that you can listen to. You will get CCEUs for that as well. So there's lots of information available to us. You've got the popular press and you've got all of the different researchers and people pick up bits and pieces. But if you go back to the Coaching Federation, they have got this coalition of technology. They have got a proper steering committee set up and really great information. So for those of you who are interested in cutting through the research, this is a good starting place for you. So with that in mind, the explorers, not experts, let's get into our conversation even further. We did say a few weeks ago now, this is not about putting our heads in the sand. And if you happen to get onto the research that's available on Coach Federation in particular, you will see that there's a fantastic webinar there that talks about the different types of artificial intelligence. And they talk about narrow, general, and super artificial intelligence. And they talk about that narrow intelligence is about one task, doing one task really well. For example, in our field, that's around goal attainment. So how do you help people get a goal? Artificial intelligence does that very well. The idea of general and super intelligence, machines as intelligent human beings, the researchers are saying that this does not exist at the moment. So already, spoiler alert, I'm starting to answer the question, will AI replace us as coaches? And we can do a poll about this as well. Feel free to put a message into the chat box about whether you think yes, it will, or no, it won't. But our position at the moment, based on the research that we're seeing that's coming out of the International Coach Federation, is the answer is actually no, it won't replace us as coaches. Because first of all, the technology doesn't exist, but also what we bring to a coaching interaction as humans can't be replicated with AI at the moment. So let me pause while you have a think about that, and feel free to pop your opinions into the chat and tell me what you're thinking at this stage. And Lillian, you have picked up instantly. Great comment here. When I coach, you say, I listen to what is not being said, and AI cannot do that at the moment. Lol, I agree with you. And for those of you that have tapped into our webinars from the last couple of series, you'll see me using ChatGPT and trying to be coached by ChatGPT. And instantly, as human coaches, you can see what the ChatGPT is not doing. You'll see me in that coaching session, so to speak, saying, but I'm tired and I'm bored and I don't want to do it, and all these kind of things, and how the ChatGPT is reacting to that. It keeps me on the same one narrow task, which is goal attainment. So and also you've seen me use different things in the past webinars, and that's a very good pickup. It's what AI cannot do is what's not being said. It can only respond to what is being input. Eric, thank you for jumping in. You say 1000% agree. Active listening is impactful. The key to effective coaching that happens when we have a human-to-human interaction. And Sonali, thank you. You've jumped in and said, I can adjust the level of empathy, inclusion, facial expressions that you can use to put someone at ease. Exactly. It's that rapport building, isn't it? That trust and intimacy, core competency and rapport building, which we bring. It keeps people feeling engaged. It keeps them feeling in a safe space. What about the fact that we talked about if the person's not in a safe space, what does AI do about that? How can it pick up? Can it make a referral straight away? Absolutely. And you say, keep them in a safe space in the coaching session. So far, AI has troublesome biases baked into them. You've picked that up, and it's not as nuanced as humans. That might change, and it will change rapidly. I agree. Warwick, thanks for expressing your opinion. I don't think that AI will be able to show or detect empathy or emotions required to detect body language when listening. Yes, and for those of you that have listened to the Coaching Cafe the last couple of weeks, you will see that the chatbot is actually demonstrating empathy. Like, it does feel like it's demonstrating empathy, but it's not human connection empathy. So we know the difference between the two. Thank you for jumping in. But what I did want to share with you is where we're at, and then look at the pros and cons, and then go, what does it mean in terms of where we're headed? Liliane says, even if AI is one day able to do that, do I, as the client, want that from someone who is not a human? And you've said no, and I totally agree with you. Let me show you, however, where we are at from a coaching perspective. And as I said, a lot of the research that I'm exploring has come from the Coach Federation, which is wonderful. And this is, for those of you that are already familiar with the webinars that we've done, this is Coach Vici, one of the original and currently one of the most powerful apps available for goal attainment. And this was developed by a doctor, a professor, out of South Africa, and they did a research study. And from that research study, they turned it into an actual commercialized chatbot. So I want to show you some of the research around Coach Vici, and it is about how AI has been used, and it is this actual graph that's got me interested. Now, you'll remember that we talked about coaching, AI being used in coaching for specific purposes, and currently the specific purpose that AI is being used for in coaching is in goal attainment. Now, Coach Vici, the chat box, was actually built around goal attainment, and Dr. Aniki Chablanche, who from the University of Stellenbosch, who was the founder of the actual chatbot, and then did the research study and turned it into the actual commercialized product. He himself says that the chatbot was built on goal attainment and goal attainment theory, and it doesn't do these other things: test for resilience, test for other human metrics and services. So that's what you've picked up there, Trish. Where skills gaps are growing, I believe we're getting back to more and more human-centric services and human-centric metrics. So the chat box doesn't include those other human-centric services or metrics. But there's a fantastic webinar that I encourage you to watch, and it's called Ask Me Anything About AI in Coaching. And it's, as I said, back to the Coach Federation by Dr. Nikki Tablanche, who actually designed it. Have a look at this graph, though. For those of you that can't see it, you've got several lines on it. First of all, this was a study that was done on Coach Vici. It was a 2-year study. It was with 100 people, and people received coaching over a 6-month period. There was a control group who received no coaching. So the control groups that you see there, they are people who didn't receive any coaching, and they're talking about over a 6-month period, how successful were people in attaining their goals. There was a group that received human coaching, so coaching with a human, and there was people that used the AI, Coach Vici, as an app. Now, for those of you that can't see it, we'll put this graph on our website when we put the blog up as well. But there's a point at which, in the timeline, human coaches are the human coach graph in terms of goal attainment. The human coach graph is higher than the AI coach, meaning people are attaining their goals and receiving the benefits more than those people who had a human coach are receiving more benefit than those people who are being coached using AI. However, at a certain point, the AI coach catches up. So what we're interested in here is for a specific purpose, like goal attainment. The research and this early research study is saying that for this purpose, an AI coach is similar over time to what a human coach can actually do. But a control group receiving no coaching is way below. Now, it's an interesting study because it's the first one that I've seen where they're actually comparing real human coaching around this specific thing, goal attainment, and the use of an AI coach. But as Dr. Nikki, who designed the study and designed the actual app, says, it's not testing for everything else. So it's only put in your goal and work towards your goal and how are you doing on your goal in terms of that coaching. And you'd see me demonstrate that when I did the AI coaching with the chatbot. So I wanted to share this graph with you as more research, as more interest to answer this question: is AI going to replace us? And to remind us about where we're at the moment, but also where we might be going into the future as well. So feel free to share any thoughts or comments as we go along. As I said, a 2-year study over 6 months with 100 people, with a proper control group, a proper research project coming out of a university. and some very interesting results. Let me throw to you. Oh, beg your pardon, Brett. You've also said, I'm wondering about the cost differential for the client. For some coaching topics, areas, and demographics, this could be quite an important factor. And yes, Brett, I agree with what you said. It's actually one of the pros about the use of AI in coaching for this kind of thing, for goal attainment, because of its 24/7 accessibility, and we'll talk about that, but also the cost factor as well. The researchers are saying chat bots like this with human coaches, the combination of the two might be the sweet spot that we find in our coaching as well, where there's some pre-work or some continuous work with the entering in my goals, etc., which is not new. Entering your goals into some form of program to keep track of your goals, it's not new. We do it with our fitness, we do it with our weight loss, we do it with all sorts of goals. That's not new, entering the goals in. What's interesting is the chatbot's response back to that. That's where the AI is developing. So thank you for picking that up as well. Paula, just want to throw to you for your thoughts and comments as well. You have that HR hat on, I know, but obviously you have your coaching hat on. Any thoughts you want to jump in with at this point?
Yeah, I think what Brett said is actually really important from the perspective of that for some people, they wouldn't, from a financial perspective, be able to have access to a coach. And if there's an opportunity to be coached by AI that is a cheaper option, but the person is getting coaching, I think that's a benefit for people, and we have to consider that. But I also think, I mean, particularly for this one, this was about goal attainment. I'd love to see a study about how it was utilized for building, working with a client who's building relationships, or, learning how to be a leader, and those sorts of areas. It's not so black and white in that goal attainment space. But to me, the whole thing about the AI is one, I don't think we replace humans, because what we know in research around engagement is that connection to people is critical. What we know in mental health is actual relationships with humans is really important for us to exist in this world. So I'm sort of thinking, I'm like, these are great tools to use, but we still need people, right? But something that enhances, that gives people access to tools so that on an individual basis they can be improving, I think there's a benefit here.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with everything you say. And that's the quote of the day. We still need people, right? Yes, we do. That's what that's exactly what we're concluding. And you make some very good points there, Paula, around the engagement. We've done a number of webinars around engagement and the importance of managers engaging, et cetera, and how coaching actually enables engagement, relationships, everything you talk about. So thank you for bringing those up. Let's have a look at the pros and cons then. And Brett's already started us on this pathway. So it is in answering the question, will AI replace us as coaches? Well, there is some pros in terms of what we've talked about: the 24/7 access, the global accessibility, and as Brett has talked about, the societal impact about affordability, and you've picked that up as well, Paula. If we wanted to expose people to coaching or the benefits, and there was no budget, or the budget's limited, or whatever it might be, then perhaps the use of an AI chatbot, etc., is the way to go. Remembering that it's about what data we put in that the chatbot is actually, that the AI is actually responding to. So if I put in a really poorly constructed goal, or is the chatbot going to help me build that better goal, etc. The pros we have talked about are also in terms of scenario simulations, so interview simulations, a lot of artificial intelligence being used for onboarding, so that you get a feel for the desk and the people and the customer service and the customers and the clients. And so a lot of the use of virtual reality, a lot of use of virtual reality rooms and virtual reality to understand